The house you see behind me is my grandmother's. I'm actually filming this in early July. I'm down here in Smyrna, Georgia, helping my parents clean up and pack up her home. We all have many fond memories of this place, but now that she's passed away, we're in the process of having various family members pick out things they would like to keep, donating other items to the needy, and possibly having a yard sale for everything else. I'm sure many of you have gone through this before with your own parents or grandparents. If I'm being completely honest with you, the subject of eternity is one of the hardest for me to talk about. At the age of 40, I certainly hope to be alive for quite some time, but I have to consider that at the very least I may be at the midway point of life. Regardless of what waits for me on the other side, I have major fears and anxieties about this life coming to an end. When I dwell on questions pertaining to my own mortality, I can even work myself into a bit of a panic. I dread the notion that someday I will not be here to see all that goes on after my death, and I suspect I am not alone in these fears. The idea of living forever in heaven is probably one of the greatest comforts to those who worry about their life ending. It is a great feeling to think that you will spend eternity in the presence of God, surrounded by loved ones who have gone on before you. I can't think of any greater joy than that. I grew up down here in the South, and we love to sing those good Southern hymns. Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. And my favorite, when we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. But as much as I love to sing those hymns, I must admit that in reality, the belief in an afterlife is difficult for some. It is a leap of faith grounded in the miraculous, the supernatural, the unexplainable. Heaven is a place that is, by its nature, unverifiable. By the time someone potentially gets there, they can't come back and tell us that it does, in fact, exist. Often, my faith in the afterlife is weak. I'm not going to sugarcoat that or pretend it's not the case just because I work for a church. Oftentimes, my faith in the afterlife is weak. As I go through this week's material in the Believe curriculum, I will spend time in self-reflection, study, and prayer, just like I hope that each of you will be doing. And in doing so, maybe that faith will grow stronger. There are many people in my life who have more than just faith in the place called heaven. They have what I can only describe as certainty. They know the promises found in the Bible, and they cling firmly to the notion of heaven, knowing that one day, when this life is over, a greater life waits for them on the other side. My grandmother was certainly one of those people. Yesterday would have been her birthday, and in her almost 97 years on this earth, I can't imagine even one of those days being spent worrying about or doubting the existence of heaven. So perhaps for me, her strength and her influence is going to have to be good enough for now. One thing I can say with certainty is that we can't take any of this stuff with us when we die. So our ongoing challenge is to spend our time in this life wisely, not storing up treasures here on earth, not focusing on things that are temporary, but setting our minds, hearts, and efforts on things eternal, making a difference and impacting others in ways that will last long after we are gone.